Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today I wanted to bring you a short review of the new song Be Hard on Yourself from the progressive rock band Marillion. So this new Marillion song, it's their first real new music in over 5 years, and it's just been released on the major sort of streaming services such as Spotify and YouTube. And although if you had pre-ordered the album and you're a big hardcore fan, then you would have probably heard the tracks. A couple of weeks ago, you would have got the download links to that. So, this new song, here's my review for it. I think this is an amazing song. It's going to be the first track off their new album, which is going to be called An Hour Before It's Dark, which has just been announced that it's going to release on the 4th of March 2022. And as I said, the new track is called Be Hard on Yourself. And it's a 9-minute, 27-second track split into 3 parts. On Spotify, it's actually 3 individual tracks, which I always find a little bit annoying, especially if you want to add the song onto a sort of playlist that you're putting together, because there's 3 different parts to the song of 3.5, 2 and a bit, and 3 minutes in terms of the structure of the songs. This is quite similar to what they did on Fear, their previous album. And if you look at the album track listing that's also just been sort of announced, there's like 7 main tracks, and 4 of them are going to be split up into sort of multiple parts, similar to this first song that's released. It's quite strange though, the splitting of them, and because actually when you listen to the song, there isn't a distinct split. You can listen to the song, all 3 parts, and I was, when I first listened to it, I was quite amazed really that I couldn't distinct when one track went into another. So anyway, the song itself, part 1 of it is called The Tear in the Big Picture. It starts with this sort of big choir, and before it heads into sort of quite a reasonably upbeat piano riff. Certainly sounds quite cinematic, as you'd expect from sort of modern day Marillion. Steve Hogarth is definitely on top form here. Brilliant singer. And Steve Rothery, the guitarist, is his usual excellent self, but he plays in that very sort of understated way with very sort of little sort of lead flourishes. But the song itself is actually driven by the sort of rhythm section of bass and drums. And it's certainly as upbeat as any song that we've heard from Marillion for a very long time. The end of the part has a great little guitar solo in it as well. And then it just, as I say, sort of seamlessly segues into part 2, which is titled The Lust for Luxury. But then as it slows, it suddenly then builds up again and builds with just like the piano, and then the bass and drums build again. Steve Hogarth comes in, and he's, there's a lot more drama in his voice, and certainly on this song. And then before we know it, we're suddenly into part 3, seamlessly as it moves into it. Part 3 is called You Can Learn, and again it sort of starts slow before it builds up into the sort of big third crescendo, before again slowing down for the last sort of half a minute really. I think as it builds into that sort of big release, I'm a little bit disappointed that it doesn't just explode with a massive guitar solo or some big impact, because as it sort of slows down, I think it sort of loses its sort of impact and its momentum. But don't take that away from it. This 9.5 minute song, it just flies by in no time, really. It's one of those sort of songs that you could easily say, oh yeah, that's a 4 or 5 minute song, because it's such a quick, upbeat, leaves you quite breathless. There's a lot of energy and intensity in the song, and that's why it sort of goes by really quickly. Then you just want to stick it back on and listen to it again. In terms of the lyrics and the sort of lyrically what the song's all about, it's about the environment and how humankind can make a difference. Hence the Steve Hogarth's telling the listener to be hard on yourself in terms of the decisions that you make. The second part really sort of expands to this on about, we're talking about overconsumption. It uses the lyric that the monkey wants a new toy, and it's the part of like this consumerism that we're involved in really, and that's really where the lyric comes in, and the part named The Lust for Luxury, that keep wanting to buy new stuff. The song then sort of hits the subject matter home in the last part by telling us that time is running out, and I really love the and it's time to act now. And I really love the lyric, "We haven't got long till the end of the song," which obviously has a double meaning. The fact that it's near the end of the song, and also from a literal point of view, but also from an apocalyptic sort of standpoint, that we are destroying the earth and we are in a sort of final hour, as it were. And I think that's really where the song, the album title it comes in, really, with the an hour before it's dark. It's almost like that sort of metaphor about it. We're in the final hour until the planet dies, really. Now, I think it's a brilliant song, and it really gives a good taster for the album. They are playing this song live on their current tour that's on right now. I'm actually going to see them tomorrow in Liverpool, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how this song comes across live. I think it's going to be a real big live favourite. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy hearing this song live. Hopefully I'll bring a little review of that gig later on this week. And hopefully if there's anyone that's going, then let us know. If you've been, how was it? And until the next one, I'll leave it there for today. Keep on rocking.